Will there ever be a Grand Funk reunion before it's forever too late? Will the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame finally break down and give in to what's right? Nobody can know for sure. I know many of us keep hoping. Most of us seem to agree, though, the Grand Funk out there touring right now is not really Grand Funk. Basically, they're a tribute band. As the fans say, no Farner, no funk. So what would it take? All three founding members are getting up there in years, but all three seem very capable of performing and touring. All three would make a lot more money than what they are right now, that's for sure. So let's look at some of the possibilities of what's been said, what hasn't been said, and what it might take to get something like this on the road again, one last time. Before we get started, if you've subscribed to the channel, thank you. Second, if you haven't, please do. And for everyone, remember, you need to click that bell on to get the notifications for the latest uploads. Now, this is a little different than the short docs I've been doing, but with all the comments on the two videos about Mark and Don, there was some mixed and different feelings. One thing that many seem to agree on was no Mark, no Grand Funk, and I totally agree with that. Also, many of you spoke out and said that if all three were on the same stage again, you would pay whatever it took to see them one last time. And again, I feel the same way. One more time would be great. So here's some of my feelings and thoughts on the possibilities of a Grand Funk reunion. I say first off, we have to think, why would they do it? Do they need more money than they already have now? We all need more money, especially in this day and age. Do they still care about the fans? I'd like to think they do. Do they still care enough about each other and feel that they could get along for a year or two? And this is a tricky question to answer. I'm sure when you get down to the nitty-gritty, it would be like saying, in a way, could you be married again to an ex-wife or an ex-husband for a few years? I know, that's kind of a crummy comparison, but you're getting my drift. I can put myself in that situation, and I will admit, how much will it pay me? And I'll think about it. And it doesn't matter who screwed who. Yeah, Don and Mel screwed Mark out of the name, and Mark left Don and Mel not once but twice to pursue his solo career. So there's plenty of butthurt to go around for all of them. Another thing would be the control factor. They have been apart so long, Mark and Don would have to really sit back and talk about this. Mel would probably be open, although you could see him being on the side of Don. Again, this could be a problem. It wouldn't work, the two against one thing. They would all three have to meet in the middle and basically start all over again. Sound impossible? Yeah, it does. A lot of water under the bridge since they last worked together, and a lot of hard feelings, although time does ease some of that. One thing here, no matter what has been said in the media, or what this person or that person knows or thinks they know, myself included, is how Mark, Don, or Mel really feels. Nobody knows the truth except them three. And they are getting older, and as you do, feelings do change. So I would think, if anything, to do this, they would have to consider the money, and it would probably be one of the biggest factors to get them together, to at least a sit down and talk about it. Nobody knows how many fans there are still alive, or even how many new ones they've picked up through the years. But this I do know, the true fans that are still out there would pay a lot more than Don and Mel's tribute band or Mark and his band makes for a ticket to see the real deal. Because let's face it, there aren't too many of the old rock bands left who have all their members still alive and still very capable of playing and singing, I think they could sell out the smaller venues without a problem. If you've been to any concerts lately, you know the prices. Now, I looked up Don and Mel's tour, and you can get tickets to see them for $35 to $100 depending on the seats. If that was Mark Don and Mel on stage, that price would go through the ceiling. And God only knows what some would pay for the meet and greets and the VIP tickets. Hell, look up the Eagles, what they get. And they don't even have Friar Felder. Remember when the Eagles did the Hell Freezes Over tour? They were packing the big venues. Remember Kiss? What was that? After 16 years, they put the makeup back on, and they came out with the original members. They sold out Tiger Stadium. That was their first show in, 24 hours, I think. Made major money. Now, Grand Funk is older than both of them bands, and I'm sure, they've lost quite a few fans to age. But I think the ones that remain would come out for one final tour and fill up them smaller venues and pay the big money. There would be a good profit in memorabilia, T-shirts, and other merchandise. We have to remember, these guys haven't been on stage in, almost 25, going on 30 years? They haven't been together. This would probably get a lot of media coverage. And also for the aged fans out there who can't even get out, we got the live streams now. So I do think the money would be there. And I'm sure Mark Don Mel knows this already. So why not do it and make the big money again for a year or two and please these fans before it's too late? I've heard Mark say in interviews, that the fans deserve to see the band again. But we also have to remember here, Mark left the band twice to go do a solo career, so maybe Don is letting something stand in the way. Pride, ego, who knows? Maybe he just don't want to give up the band he has. I just had a funny thought talking about this. Bruce Kulick, who's playing guitar for Don's tribute band, he was also the guitar player for Kiss for a dozen or so years. And back in 1996, when they started their reunion tour and brought the original members back, Ace and Peter, they let Bruce go. I wonder if Don would let him go. That would give old Bruce the double whammy, wouldn't it? But again, all you can do is really speculate on something like this. We'll never really know what the holdups are. I keep thinking the Hall of Fame will pull their heads out of their asses and do what should have been done years ago and put Grand Funk in. And that could have got the three of them back together, possibly, maybe even for a song or two. But then again, that don't always work either. Creedence Clearwater, when they was put in, John Fogerty wouldn't play with Stu and Doug when they were elected. He wouldn't play with them. He wanted to do it with his own. So do they owe it to the fans? Mark seems to think they do. Don and Mel don't give many interviews, and if they do, they don't talk a lot about it. As for me, I don't feel they owe me anything really. I've enjoyed their music for more than 50 years. But it would give me a lot of satisfaction to see them hook up again, catch some of that magic for a few years, then call it quits on good terms. Be a very cool ending for a great band. So what do you think? Again, I'm just speculating and talking off the top of my head here, so feel free to do so yourself. This is just something that's been on my mind for a while, and I'd like to hear from you all, what you got to say. I ended up picking up almost 1,000 new subscribers from the Mark and Don videos, so I thought there'd be a few of you out there who might be interested in listening to me ramble on about this a little, and then speak your mind on the subject and tell me what you think. As always, appreciate you checking out my videos. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to ring the bell for the notifications. I've got more videos to come and a few surprises in the making, so help support the channel and make it grow. Let me hear your thoughts on the Grand Funk Railroad reunion. It could happen. Take care, y'all. Thanks again for watching and listening.